Hey guys, it's Mute, and I'm back with another talking video. Now, what I'm going to be talking about in this video are good artist habits, or rather, habits I think artists should become more familiar with. Now, if you want to take anything I say in this video with a grain of salt, you do you. That's completely okay with me, actually. In fact, if there's anything you think should be added to this list or something you disagree with, feel free to let me know in the comments, because I'd actually appreciate it. Now, to start off this list, the things I'm going to talk about aren't really in like a particular order, and these are my opinions, so if you disagree with them, that's totally okay. You can still let me know in the comments if you have any thoughts. So yeah. So the first good artist habit I'm going to talk about is developing a healthy work schedule. I think this certainly goes for professional artists who make a living off of art. And basically what I mean by this is, while you're making sure you have time to work or make your art, make sure you have time to take care of yourself. Like, make sure you schedule your day so that you're getting to bed at a decent time, or make sure you're getting enough sleep at night, and also make sure you're getting your meals too, make sure you're eating, because honestly, if you don't have those things, then how are you supposed to make that good art? Let's be real, okay? And along with that, along with sleeping, eating, getting your basic needs, I think it's a good idea also if you schedule your day so that you also have enough time for like leisure activities. So like, if you have other hobbies other than making art, make sure you save yourself some time to do those other hobbies. Cause like, it seems really stressful just to cram yourself in a room all day, like doing work, even though it's something you love. I feel like you should take care of yourself too. Make sure you have enough time to be getting outside of your workspace. So moving on, the next artist habit I'm going to talk about, it's a bit more obvious, and it's said by a lot of artists because it's true. It holds up. And that's to practice daily. And if not daily, then regularly, like every other day. And a lot of artists will say you should practice every day because your art will get better. And that is true. You will get better with more practice. But the thing is, I also see it as compared to not practicing every day. If you don't do that, then eventually you'll start to get a little rusty. And then if you take too many breaks from art, or if you don't pay attention to your art long enough, then you might have to reteach yourself skills you've already learned. And that's bad because you could be spending that time learning other skills or other mediums. And another good reason to practice regularly is not only because you'll get better, but you'll get better within a quicker amount of time. So yeah, I think it's a good habit to get into for multiple reasons. Alright, so the next habit I'm going to talk about, this could also play into what I said earlier about developing a healthy work schedule, but I think it's equally important. And this one is to make sure that when you're working on art, you take breaks. And with this habit, I basically just wanted to emphasize that it's important not to overwork yourself. I know I'm pretty guilty of doing this, because usually when I work on a new piece, I would just coop myself in my room for hours at a time, and I would just work on art. I would never do anything else, which is pretty bad. If you're working on art for a long time, I feel like it's important to take breaks. Just to like, it doesn't even have to be like a long break either. Like, it can be like a nice 5-minute break or 5 to 10 minute break. It's good to like get up and walk around, because most artists pretty much, they sit at a desk or their workstation when they work on art, and all that sitting really isn't healthy for you. So yeah, that's probably the main reason why it's good to get up and walk around. And also, you're not just constantly stressing over your work. If you take breaks, then you'll have chances to relax and not feel so stressed. Alright, so now what I'm going to talk about is comparing yourself to other artists. And I'm going to say it right now, don't do that. Don't ever do that, okay? I see a lot of beginner artists do this, and it's all around, it's just no bueno. Don't do that, okay? Because I was just as guilty as doing this especially when I first started out, and I'll tell you right now, I still do it, and it's not good. It's not good for any artist, because what happens is, they'll look at their own work, and then they'll compare themselves to other artists, and most of the time, it'll be artists who've been doing what they do for years at a time, and meanwhile, the artists themselves they've just started getting into it, okay? Then they'll compare themselves to like, say, professional artists, and they'll be discouraged, and they'll be like, wow, my art sucks, I'm not gonna get anywhere with my art. So, yeah, and then that'll discourage them from making more art, which is obviously bad. So, my advice is, instead of comparing yourself to other artists, just compare your work now to your old work. That's even better, because hopefully, when you look back at your old work, you'll notice how much you improved, and you'll be like, wow, look how far I've come. And then hopefully after that, you'll think, imagine how far I'll be like a year or two from now. And then that hopefully will motivate them to work on more art. So yeah, if you just compare yourself to yourself, that's even better, because then hopefully you'll be motivated to work more on your art, to practice more, and to develop more of your skills. So the last good habit I want to talk about is experimenting more when it comes to your art. I think trying to get into new mediums is definitely beneficial for an artist, because not only will it hopefully motivate you to work more on art, but you'll start to develop new skills as an artist. Because sure, it's good to be an artist that's proficient in a certain skill, but I think to be a more successful artist, you should have a little bit of knowledge at least in multiple mediums. So yeah, if you have the funds to do so, you should try looking at art supplies you never used and try experimenting with them. I'm trying to look into getting more into inking, so I recently bought myself new inking pens, and at the moment of recording this video, I'm still waiting for them to come in. So once they come in, hopefully I'm gonna try to practice with them and see where that takes me. I'm looking forward to it. I know it's gonna be a lot of fun, and I know it's a good way for me to work more on my traditional art. So yeah. However, if you don't have the money for supplies, which I can very much understand, then there's also alternatives for you to branch out in your work. So one suggestion I can offer is maybe try experimenting with different art styles. So maybe look at artists you admire or look up to, and then try to, I guess, take in key elements of their style and then try experimenting with that, and try seeing if you're comfortable with drawing like that. It's also an interesting way to vary your work. Another suggestion is to give some art challenges a try. There's a certain app I like to use for this. It's called Art Amino. It's a free app, free to download, and it's basically an online art community. And on their page, they have just a gigantic list of art challenges. They're like really varied too. I know they have like seasonal challenges, like challenges based on the different seasons. They have a magical girl challenge, basically where you design your own magical girl. They have a candy Sona challenge, designing your own character based on candy. Those two, which I have done. They have a music challenge. Basically any challenge you can think of, I'm pretty sure they have, okay? So that's how varied it is. So it's, with their challenge list, I doubt it'll be very hard to find something that inspires you. So yeah, that's another good way to try to get inspiration for your art. And hopefully draw more. So yeah, that's kind of my take on habits I think artists should develop. Again, these are all just my opinions, so if there's something you happen to disagree with, you can feel free to let me know in the comments, or if you think there's something else that should be added to this list, let me know as well. I'd actually love to hear your thoughts. As always, I hope your day is as lovely as you are. Bye-bye.